Hi, I'm Giovanni McIntosh from Azusa Pacific University College, doing a case study on conflict resolutions to my neighborhood relations. Let's begin with the background. In 1906, after the San Francisco earthquake and fire, a sudden influx of Japanese moved to Los Angeles, California, because of the attraction of the living conditions. Oh, wait a minute, I read that wrong. Because of the attraction of the living conditions, subtropical climate, and job possibilities for the farm laborers. The California Alien Land Laws were enacted in 1913 and amended in 1920 and 1940, which gave Japanese the right to own or lease agricultural land. In 1941, Pearl Harbor was attacked by the declaration of war from President Roosevelt Franklin. After World War II, in 1945, Japanese families began to migrate from Japan to Los Angeles, California. The Japanese families mostly moved into the Crenshaw district, which is now referred to as the Mid-City District. Continuing with background, in 1950, the number of African American families increased to more than 100,000, and the African Americans received more of the farming jobs than the Japanese at this point. African American families were less likely to have both parents employed, which was the opposite of their white counterparts. In 1960, my grandparents moved to 2212 South Harcourt Avenue to what is now called Jefferson Park, into a house that my great-uncle Wade Moore, that is now deceased, was renting, and then it went into foreclosure, so my grandparents bought the home that was sold. Let me show you what this home looks like. This right here is my neighborhood. Beautiful, ain't it? And that right there, that's cleaning up the lawn, is my grandmother. Let me show you the house. Right here. The 2212 sign that you see, my grandfather created that. He is now deceased, sadly. He created this in his backyard. Now I'm moving along with the rest of my oral presentation. Let's move on to the conflict, the description of the conflict. There is a generation gap in this neighborhood because there are more elderly residents on this street, but they do not know how to compromise. Elderly residents on the street, but the younger residents that have just moved in don't know how to compromise with the senior citizens in this neighborhood. Many of the neighbors who are senior citizens require more support than the younger ones. The elderly neighbors are irritated by the younger neighbors because of their lifestyle of partying and not caring for the neighborhood, well, in their opinions, seeing that they are from college. Everyone is isolated in their own lives, and no one communicates with each other. The neighbors hate the new neighbors, the new neighbors walk with their dogs and allow their dogs to, I guess you say, defecate on their lawns. And the younger residents don't remove the feces the dog has done, which ruins the appearance of the neighborhood. People are fighting over parking spaces and loud noises. The community of our neighborhood has disappeared. There's been a loss of friendly communication. Prejudice and stereotypes have also played a role, according to my grandmother, seeing that she's from the South. Because there are new races moving in. It was mostly just African American, but now there are a lot of white people moving in. Diagnosis. Parking has blocked other neighbors' driveways. The neighborhood is a place for social and civic engagement. People who feel connected to their neighborhood are likely to participate in community development. Loud parties continue late in the night while the neighbors want to sleep. Let me show you which apartment I am referring to. The neighbor, this apartment across the street has mostly the younger neighbors that have animals and a lot of whiter skinned people. Over here is my next door neighbor. They're on a trip right now, so we're taking care of their mail in their house. And then my other neighbor is over here. She's a black older woman that is about 86 years old. That I help her as well. Alright, let's continue with the presentation. Well, I'm still in the presentation. Okay, I prescribe forgiveness as the solution. Because in my opinion, it is the only way that these issues between my neighbors can be resolved. Whether it's the conflict from way back when, or even if it's a more recent issue. The offender who desires to restore or maintain a relationship after a conflict apologizes to his or her victim. Seeing that I am Christian, I believe, well, in the Bible, it states, love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your strength, and with all your might, and with all your mind. Love your neighbor as yourself. Luke chapter 10, verse 27. And that's coming from the New International Version. Also, what can help this neighborhood is by removing the lawn so that the feces from the dogs can't ruin the lawn. And it will also help the appearance of this neighborhood. Conversation can heal the isolation issue, because just staying in your apartment all day long, you won't meet people. And that's the only way we can make a community. Seeing community can help my neighbors enjoy each other, care for another, and work together for a better neighborhood. Oh, application. In support of my hypothesis, communication really did help my family. And we're getting closer and closer to our neighbors every day, just by talking to them, saying hello, and creating the community that we so desperately desired. I talked to my white next door neighbor. Her name is Mandy, and her husband's name is Griff. And I talked to his daughters. They have two daughters, Fana and Neva, and they're very nice children. I have their mother's mobile number, so I can contact her whenever I like. And that's the only reason I know that they're on a trip, because she said, "Please take care of my house, Giovanni, while we go on this trip. We're going on our family trip." My grandmother and my aunt removed the lawn in front of the house. We don't have feces in the front any longer. And I can show you this as proof. As you can see, my grandma is still removing some of it that is still there. Next door did it as well, and they put plants, because we used to have, just like this house right here used to look like ours, with a lawn. We no longer have one. Thank you. This has been a wonderful presentation, and I hope you've learned a lot. Thank you. Bye.